Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you the first part of our week 1 fantasy football starts and sits. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should have in your lineup, who you should take out. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kyle, the 2021 NFL regular season has finally kicked off, man.
Oh yeah.
Finally. We had a really fun fantasy offseason. It was fun, but we're just getting started on getting you the upside information you need to dominate your league. We'll be breaking down each game this season, giving you who you should start, sit, maybe put in a flex. So hang out with us all season. And today we are going to go through the first 5 games on Sunday. Let's freaking go.
Oh yeah, man. Football. Right? It's finally happening, right? So while you're here, why don't you click that like button down below? You can also hit that subscribe button. And why would you do that? Because you're going to hit that bell so that you know that we are going to be doing live streaming, and that's going to be pregame Sundays. And if you want to know when that's happening, you got to be subscribed, and you also have to click that bell. That way you are notified when we're heading to our live stream. It's going to happen before kickoff on Sundays, and we'll be able to answer all kinds of questions. You just got to raise your hand and say that, hey, little help now. That's right, little help. And we'll give you a hand. We've already got a couple questions that have dropped, and so we're going to make sure that we can get to those on the pregame live stream, as well as talk about a few other things like the weather, how, maybe there's bad weather. I don't know. East Coast is supposed to be getting slammed by some sort of another hurricane or something like that, just all kinds of craziness, right? So different things are going to affect different games. And so we want to talk to you about those at the last minute. That way you can tinker, right? Just tinker a little bit. Little tinker. But yeah, so let's dive in headfirst in the shallow end, Justin. Let's get started on these matchups, right? We already knocked out the Thursday night matchup the other day. Mm-hmm. All right, here we are. We're talking about Jacksonville versus Houston, right? That powerhouse of a game that everybody, this is game of the week kind of stuff right here, man. Jacksonville versus Houston, but it is Trevor Lawrence's first professional game, so there is that at least. We're going to run through the starts here, kind of talk about those mostly, and we'll avoid the sits. If you got a question or comment about a sit, feel free to drop that below. But we're talking about these guys who are going to be starts for us. Trevor Lawrence is a start for me. Try it out, see how it works, see how it feels. Lawrence should be able to get it going in this game, I think, because it's Houston, and presently Houston is the worst. They are a dumpster fire. It might rival the Jets last year, right? And then we've got James Robinson. I like James Robinson. As you know, Justin, I like James Robinson. He was on my team last year. Hey, J-Rob is going to pick up where he left off. At least in this game. He's going to do that at least in this game because there's no competition in the backfield for opportunity. They're not going to try to push Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball all the time. They're going to lean heavily on Robinson, and Houston is a dumpster fire. So then we've got Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. These guys all should get a good share, but I've got Marvin Jones getting the most. Marvin Jones Jr. getting the most. And I think that he's likely to lead this group at least this week, but possibly throughout the entire season, he's going to lead. I look for DJ Chark when he's fully healthy. They're saying he should be available. That I think he had some sort of finger surgery. They say that the splint's coming off. He's going to be available week 1 most likely, but keep your eye on that one because he might not be. I would feel free starting him, but I'm not going to bet on him getting me a whole heck of a lot. If I'm in best ball or DFS or something like that, DFS, I'm looking at, okay, maybe I can get a cheap DJ Chark and he goes off and gets me a touchdown or something on a whim. So that's what I've got on Jacksonville. The rest is a sit for me right now.
I got you, man. I feel like you might be sleeping on Laviska just a little bit.
I know people really like him a whole lot, but I just don't see him overtaking the volume of Marvin Jones. I think if you drafted him, you're probably going to play Laviska Shenault because I think you paid up a little bit for him.
Yep.
So I do have him as a start. I'm not saying that he's not startable. I don't think that he's going to blow the doors off right away. I just think this offense is going to struggle to get started in the passing game a little bit.
Right.
Houston's a great opponent to try it out on, though, right?
There's a lot of things you could try out. Might as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Might as well.
All right, Houston. Give me your racing report on Houston here.
All right, I do have one start.
Your water report. Give me your water quality report. On
I am actually going to do one start. And it's going to be Brandon Cooks. That's the only start on this team. The guy gets it done every year, no matter the QB. I think you can start him against these corners as well. So just this week, I think you can start him. I'm curious to see what happens with the quarterback position.
So I have a question for you then about Houston. Yes. Now let's talk about this dumpster fire, this team that is presently. And let's talk about this. How long is it before Brandon Cooks and David Johnson are traded?
Rather quickly. I mean, it's been a year too long that Brandon Cooks has been with Houston based off of past.
I want to say that somebody in the organization said just 2 days ago that any vet is available, period.
Well, they just traded Bradley Roby.
Yep.
They just traded their corner to the Saints.
Yeah.
He had 2 years left on the deal. He was a decent corner. So, I mean, and that's, you mentioned David Johnson. I didn't mention Johnson.
Philip Lindsay could. Yeah.
But I don't have any of those guys as starts. I don't think they know what's going to happen.
Whether they're going to be there Sunday in a different jersey.
And who's going to get the workload? It could be freaking Rex.
Well, they're saying right now it's a running back by committee. They have come out and said that it is definitely a timeshare for these guys. And so, I don't feel comfortable starting these guys right now. I'm looking for David Johnson to get moved. I think that he will. He'll find somewhere where he's going to get probably 20 to 30%, share, and he'll be fine. But I think that maybe the best you can hope for is 40% of a terrible offense, right? 40% of the opportunity of a terrible offense. So,
Right, moving right along.
We've got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Washington football team. They still haven't changed the name, right?
Did you slip? You almost slipped there.
I almost did, but halfway through, I thought to myself, have they changed that yet? They're getting close to it.
They haven't officially.
They haven't yet. Yeah. All right. So I'll take the Chargers here. We've got Justin Herbert as a start, Austin Eckler as a start, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jared Cook, and I think that's it. Those are the starts right there. With Herbert, are they going to continue to air the ball out all the time? I don't really know. I think that Herbert should be taking another step forward this season. I like him. I think he's a great quarterback. He was highly underrated last year, I think, going into fantasy football. So I'm excited about him this year. I just have a question about what the volume of throws are going to be. Last year to start the season, they were missing Eckler, so that did really kind of dictate what they were going to do, and that was so last minute that it really it left them in a bad position. And then speaking of Eckler, he's a start if he stays healthy, right? He's a sneaky running back one on the season in my mind. This will be a tough matchup, though, I think, pretty much. And he missed practice on Wednesday with a hamstring injury. So here we are again.
Keep an eye on Thursday, Friday's participation in practice. They had him on the bike.
Yeah.
They had him on the bike, so it could be just a little bit of rest.
I think they're being a bit precautionary, probably. I would imagine.
Based off what happened last year. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, does anybody see like a doctor traipsing around the sidelines with a giant needle of any kind? Anybody see one of those?
I hope they fired that guy.
Well, who's the backup QB who's going to be starting week one abruptly because the doctor stabs and almost kills the QB?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's talk about our favorite receiver, Keenan Allen, right? Keenan Allen is, So is this one of the weeks that he's worth starting? Is this one of those weeks that he's worth starting? I don't know. I'm guessing because it's a roller coaster ride. So I'm just going to say with Austin Eckler kind of being dinged up, if he doesn't play, start every share of Allen that you have of Keenan Allen. Like absolutely, because he's going to pop off for 27 targets or something, right? Mike Williams, can he stay healthy? Maybe for 1 week he can do that, so feel free to start him too. And then Jared Cook, I hope you have a better option, but he should be an okay guy. This is a tougher matchup in the passing game, I think, than most people are going to initially recognize. But they look for him in the end zone, then hey, you could have this could be like last year, a touchdown as a tight end one. Right, it could be like any given week. If a tight end gets a touchdown, 30 yards and a touchdown,
you're good.
Yep. 40 acres and a mule, 30 yards and a touchdown. It's all success.
Just how it is.
Yep, just how it is. All right, Washington football team, what you got for me?
All right, for my main starts, I have Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry McLaurin, and Logan Thomas. We'll talk about those three first, and then I'll kind of get into some other kind of information as well. Antonio Gibson, he is a stud. I just really hope he's going to get a little bit more passing game work. You're really curious to see what happens this week one. He didn't get as much as what I would like to have seen in the preseason. So we'll see how that works out. But for Scary Terry, man, targets, and more targets. I think they're really going to showcase him. And it's why
I wanted him in
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I wanted him in every draft I was in. Yep. I wanted McLaurin.
So did everybody else.
So did everybody else. Sure. Stack him with Ryan Fitzpatrick on the cheap, dude.
Ooh, there you go. Oof. And then Logan Thomas, I mean, he's a guy, I like him because, I mean, he should be a top 6 play this year. Mm-hmm. McLaurin and Thomas should get a decent target share. And going back on, Fitzmagic, I think he's a good super flex start. I think he's going to perform better than what some will predict. And then another guy that I would look for as a flex start would be J.D. McKissick in a PPR league. Mm-hmm. The guy is still going to get it done on third down, unless for some reason, Ron Rivera wisens up and he's like, you know what? I do have another version of CMC. Maybe I should just ride Antonio Gibson, but they've shown that they're going to give a lot to J.D. McKissick.
Yeah.
One quick note I want to make, just because I haven't talked about him, Curtis Samuel re-injured his groin again this week in practice, so he most likely won't play. This is a guy that I have tried to avoid in every single draft, and I have officially done that in every single draft. Thank the good Lord. New wide receiver, soft tissue injuries. No thanks.
I mean, the funny thing is there were a bunch of wide receiver ones available around the same zone as him, and so it's like, why would you draft him? He's not the wide receiver
ones on teams.
Not overall wide receiver ones, but
where are you drafting?
Hey man, I mean, I don't know if I walked out of a single draft this year where a Lions wide receiver one was drafted. So I'm just saying.
Nobody knows who that wide receiver one is.
I mean, I heard people talking, Amon Ross, St. Brown, let's go get that guy, right? I'm going to get him. Why? He was on their official depth chart. He was a wide receiver 3 on their third behind one of the sides. Like, he's not even listed as being available to the other side of the field.
Goodness.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Seattle versus Indianapolis. This is a big one here for you, right? Indy. So I've got Seattle here. Russell Wilson and Chris Carson are starts. Rashad Penny is a flex play. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are the only other starts that I have here. Russell Wilson, I mean, Russa, you're going to start Russell Wilson. Yeah, you're going to start that guy, right? Mr. Unlimited. You got to. I think, though, that you got to be a little wary. This is a really good and underrated defense out of the Colts. And so I would be a bit worried about Russell Wilson just because I know they really want to throw the ball a lot more this year. And it's going to open him up to a lot more just picks or bad things occurring, right? He's going to be set back there. He's going to get hit a lot more, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Chris Carson is a start for me. It's good defensive front. But still, they're going to try to get him the ball a bunch of different ways. I've heard people describe Chris Carson as just the injured version of Aaron Jones. I guess I could see it. Just the always injured version of him. Rashad Penny is a flex for me, but that's just a be wary. This is, not exactly something you want to get into if you can. But I hope you have a better option. But if you have to, you could, just because I think they're going to throw the ball a lot more. And to find success against this defense, I think they're going to have to throw the ball to the running backs a lot more often.
Can I put a little nugget in here for the listeners? With how Chris Carson plays and that running style he has, I mean, he does get hurt throughout the season. I actually don't think it would be Rashad Penny taking over the workload. I think it would be Alex Collins, who is still in the league and is still playing for Seattle. So just put that off to the side here.
I think that they decided a while ago that Rashad Penny is just the change of pace back, that he's never going to be the lead back for them. And so
this is his last year in Seattle.
Absolutely.
His 5th year.
Yeah. That was not a very good draft pick. I mean, the dude got injured a couple times and he never really took off after that. But speaking of taking off, we've got DK Metcalf, right? A tough defense is going to make a long day for the Seahawks passing game. They will get the passing game going a few times, at least I'm betting. So I think that they will find pay dirt. The question is, who's going to end up being the guy doing that? Maybe once or twice they manage it. My bet is DK Metcalf. But if they get close to the end zone, I'm leaning Lockett then. And so I like both of them. I liked both of them this year, period. But in this game, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding. So that's what I've got on Seattle. What you got on Indy?
Kind of like what happened last year, where there was like mainly just one start, and that was about it. And that's Jonathan Taylor. I mean, will we see a modern day bell cow work from JT? If they want to win, JT should touch the ball at minimum 20 times a game. Yeah. And they didn't show that they would do that until the very end of the season last year with Jonathan Taylor. So I think if they do that, this is a top 5 running back in the league. Now, when it comes to some flexes, I wouldn't mind having Nyheim Hines. He's the number 2 running back on this team, especially in a PPR. He could be a decent flex. They're going to try to get ways to get him the ball. They're going to do a lot of stuff on the ground or short little throws to try to limit the ineffectiveness of Carson Wentz in the past of not being able to hold on to the ball or throw it to the right jersey. And then Michael Pittman is another guy that I wouldn't mind having in the flex spot because, T.Y. Hilton's down. Paris Campbell missed practice this week. Again, here we go again. When it comes to Paris Campbell, sadly, the guy just can't stay healthy. But if I were to own or manage one of the wide receivers for Indianapolis Colts, it would be Michael Pittman just because of what he did down the stretch last year. I mean, people forget that he had that compartment syndrome where he had to have surgery right after a game. I mean, that takes people out. That ended their career not that long ago for a guy in the Broncos, I believe. I can't remember who the guy was.
I don't know.
But it took a little while for him to get going, but I wouldn't mind having him in a flex spot.
Yep. All right, we've got Jets at Carolina next here. I've got the Jets, who are for the most part still the worst. You gotta prove me wrong, although until I change my mind on them. So right now I've got 2 starts actually out of them. Tevin Coleman, he's good for a few games, I think, and then you better have another plan in mind. And then I think Michael Carter takes over at that point, somewhere around the bye week. So if you've got Tevin Coleman, plan on trying to get him off your roster to somebody else for something in return by the week 4, unless Michael Carter gets injured, right? I mean, but the start of the season is the time in which you're going to be able to actually rely on Tevin Coleman because they faced some bad rushing defenses from last year's numbers, right? Corey Davis is a start as well. I think that he should be the wide receiver 1 on this team. I think that maybe he's going to get around 8 to 10 targets on average across the season. Maybe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice.
I mean, I think he got 7 targets in the first half of their last preseason game for Zach Wilson. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it could be a decent day if he manages to find pay dirt, I actually think. I think that's why I like Corey Davis. I liked him in the drafts all summer. Like I really liked him as an underrated wide receiver. Very 1. Underrated. Yeah. And I mean, he broke out last year in Tennessee, and that's not easy to do. So especially because AJ Brown was so dominant. He was banged up last year, but still Corey Davis finally figured it out. Hope here is that he has it working with Zach Wilson. So if you got him, start him. If you don't care. All right. Carolina, what you got?
I have Christian McCaffrey. Start your studs. What a shock. Yeah,
you don't wait. You're not going to start Sam Darnold? It's a revenge game. Right?
I totally forgot it was actually a revenge game.
Yeah, it would be a for him and Robbie Anderson.
If Adam Gase was on, a coaching staff somewhere, then it's a revenge game because I don't think Sam Darnold blames.
Is he gonna spend this season in the woods in a shanty studying all the tape of some particular team or lying about studying all that tape?
Well, that shanty's gonna be full of mushrooms.
He's got the creepy eyes just like Mike McCarthy. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, speaking of Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, I do have them as starts. I think both of those guys have really flown under the radar this year. I mean, Darnold should be an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater in my mind because I think the guy still has it. Yeah. And both players were starters last year. When it comes to at the end of the year, they both were top 28, I think. They were both really good. I know DJ Moore was in the teens, and then Robbie Anderson was in the mid to high 20s. Yeah, and I think he should be just as good this year, if not better. So I think they are kind of under the radar. I get it. Christian McCaffrey's back, but I think they're going to be able to get the ball out enough for those guys to be valuable this year. Yep.
All right, we got last one here. We got Minnesota versus Cincinnati. The Vikings versus the Bengals. All right, Minnesota here. I've got actually quite a few starts because it's the Bengals. And so, hey, I got Kirk Cousins as a start. As long as he manages to stay COVID free, he's worth a start here. But the best I think you can really hope for is probably high-end QB2 day. And I'm hoping that you have a better QB on your roster, but maybe you waited forever and then go, oh, wait, I missed out on all the regular QBs. I ended up with Kirk Cousins. If you're in a 2 QB league, I think you can reasonably play him here and you're fine.
Yep.
And against Cincinnati, I expect he's going to do okay. Dalvin Cook, you have him. You know what to do. Just do it. Put him in your lineup. Just set it, forget it until he gets injured and misses 3 games. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen both are starts as well. Possibly have 2 wide receiver ones on a weak passing opportunity here. That's the concern, right? There's not a whole lot of offense going around in the passing game in this offense. It's not as bad as some places, but it's not as good as what you would hope for if you have both one of these guys. So most likely only one of them is going to end up, in my mind, as a wide receiver 1 for this season. That's the issue, right? There's just not enough passing opportunity to go around. So the question is, who's going to be the wide receiver 1 this week? I think probably Jefferson, but that, your guess is as good as mine. Adam Thielen is, he's a pretty scrappy dude. He's like having another coach on the field. So
big high motor guy, especially right around that end zone, man.
Real gym rat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, lunch pail guy.
Lunch pail guy for sure.
Yep. Lunch pail guy.
First in, last out.
Yeah. Who is it, do you think, out of the coaches or announcers, who's the worst about that? About those comments, which we all recognize are just a form of racism.
Like Nance. I almost want to say him.
For me, it was Gruden. It was Gruden.
Was it Gruden?
It was for me. It was Gruden.
Oh, well, you said announcer.
He was at one point.
No, I know.
When he was, an announcer,
exactly.
Game caller.
He was kind of, I'll just throw this guy in the booth and have him say just a bunch of weird ass things.
Say whatever pops in your head, John.
Hey, John,
just whatever
fun,
it is.
buddy.
Feel free. Don't filter anything, John. Don't filter anything.
Just lay off the booger sugar, bro. Good Lord. All right, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Speaking of booger sugar, Cincinnati.
All right, we got Joe Mixon, we got T. Higgins. Those are my main 2 starts, really. I'll talk about Joe Mixon. You just start him based on volume. He's most likely going to get 2 yards in the backfield on every dang carry because this offensive line can't block.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw this, but the second round offensive guard that the Bengals took is he was actually on the chance of getting cut. That's how bad he came in overweight and did not want to be coached. What a shock.
Wait. You want me to believe that the Bengals made a bad decision during the draft? Oh, come on, man. No, that's a bridge too far. I can't for a second even remotely entertain the idea that they would have made a decision during the draft that negatively affected their franchise's ability to win games.
Well, there is one second rounder that they've had recently, and that's T. Higgins.
Yeah, that was a home run.
He is a home run. I mean, I think he is the wide receiver 1 on this roster. You think the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
He should get red zone work. That's what he looks for. Now, when it comes to some flexes, Joe Burrow, I just want to see that first week. He only took like 1 preseason snap. So in the 2
this is an incomplete pass. An incomplete 1-yard pass, I think, is what it was.
I just want to see how he plays on that repaired knee. I just want to see that.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Boyd, I think you can start him in the flex until Chase, Jamar Chase actually takes over that number 2 role. Maybe this year, maybe next year, or maybe never. So I think
that's
Boyd
another swing and a miss in my mind.
Yeah. I have Chase as a sit, everybody. I would not start him if I could avoid it. I mean,
what I will say is Cincinnati fans probably don't disagree with us. Like, they probably actually believe that we're absolutely 100% correct on Jamar Chase. Right. They're not happy about it. Like, what I've seen, they're not happy about it. I wouldn't be either. The first time your franchise is like, draft the offensive lineman. Like, everybody, your fan base is like, go in the first round and draft an offensive lineman. Do it. And they're like, no, we're going to go get this guy who can't get separation from, his coach. That's what we're going to do.
With Burrow.
Yeah.
But that's why. You play with Burrow.
Yeah, he's never going to be wide open. And so, go for it.
There's a difference between my separation in college.
Yeah, this is my problem with college football, though, is that the disparity among skill level between the elite players who will be in the NFL and the regular, work-a-day guy who's just got a scholarship trying to get an education, the disparity is striking. And even at elite levels, there are DBs who cannot hang with guys who are as fast as guys like Ja'Marr Chase, right? And so it's just enough to get it done. Well, get in the NFL, all the DBs are that fast, dude. All of them are. And they're really good at hanging on your hip if you try to make a move. That's what makes guys like Davante Adams so amazing, because he's not the fastest dude, but he's a friggin' tactician, and Tyreek Hill's super fast, but they
got that suddenness.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill's super fast, right? But that's not his only skill set. He also jumps out of the stadium, and he is actually quite shifty when it comes to making moves on dudes and stuff. And so it takes more than just he's a fast guy, and he was really good in college as a fast guy. It's like, well, did he show you anything on tape that he could do something else? I don't think with Ja'Marr Chase they're getting what they thought they got, unfortunately. I mean,
they were looking at some different tape.
Wrong
guy, bro.
Yeah, they were out there watching tape on other dudes. He's really good. They wrote down the wrong name.
Didn't Justin Jefferson play for LSU as well? Maybe they were watching the wrong season.
Maybe.
They were watching 2019, because both of them were on the field at the same time.
They were, and Jefferson was hanging. So, but I remember when the Vikings drafted Justin Jefferson, I remember everybody saying, "Oh man, Ja'Marr Chase would have gone so high," That's the way it goes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the first round of matchups for week 1. We've got 2 more episodes that we're going to drop before the end of the week with more matchups breakdowns for you. And then, like I said before, make sure you're subscribed and that you have clicked that bell. That way you are notified when we go live on Sunday for our pregame show. Answer your questions and everything. All right, so we'll talk to you then. See ya. Bye.
Yeah.